What is up, NFL fans? Welcome back to another episode of For Your Viewing Pleasure. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Wesley Coleman. The playoffs are here. The 2025 regular season is a wrap. What's going on, man?
Man, it's been a long season, but it's just gone by so quick.
Yeah.
The one thing that's sticking out to me is that just recently we've had great games. I mean, there's times we've been on the show going, there's only going to be two or three. There's been great football games. It's been really good.
Okay. I'm not gonna. I'm trying not to play the homer here, but in terms of this regular season, where do you put the Steelers Ravens, the final game of the regular season, amongst the best of the year?
I mean, it was a great, entertaining game. The problem with it was, and which was I think a problem with a lot of specifically Steelers games this year, is the first half was awful. Maybe the first three quarters. The end of the game, the last 20 minutes is just incredible. I mean, you brought it up. So did you think about the difference and how it would have felt if Tyler Loop had made that kick? You know, season's over, comes to a screeching halt versus him missing that kick and the winner going on?
I mean, yeah, I had already told myself they were going to lose when he's lining up for a 44-yard kick. The guy hadn't missed inside 50 all year.
You missed it. That's the exact question that Mike Tomlin got asked before he talked about his aunt.
And he said, if my aunt had mail
cards, you up perfect for that. You blew it.
Sorry, I totally missed on that one. Swing and a miss. But man, like that was a great quote. There's still some people on social media that don't get it, and I'm like, how do you not get that? Like, it's a saying. Like, anyways, I thought it was a very entertaining week of football.
Yeah,
and I thought it was a very entertaining season. I think that, and I can only speak about this personally, years where the regulars aren't in it make it more exciting. It makes it more intriguing.
You didn't have Broncos, Seahawks as the two number one seeds,
right?
You didn't have that.
Who had the Buffalo Bills finishing second in the AFC East? I mean, this is what we're talking about. So I love the fact that there's some fresh blood in the postseason. I always like it when the Chiefs suck, and so it's very rare. So I'm gonna enjoy this, but still, let's talk about the 2025 season kind of in its entirety, but let's focus on some surprises. Teams that are in that you didn't think would be in, teams that are out that you thought would. Let's start with the surprising teams that are in that you never pegged for being a playoff team. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I don't know if never thought they'd be in, but me and you, neither one were too high on the Jaguars.
Nope.
And I just want to say the Jaguars didn't sneak in. They're a 13-win team.
Good team.
I'll just start with them on the AFC side. Like, me and you didn't believe in them in the preseason. We thought it was definitely the Texans to win. Once the season started, a lot of people went to the Colts, and it was just a foregone conclusion that the Colts were winning that. And the Jaguars just kept plugging away. And they've actually had some big wins this year. It's the opponents they've beat have been good. But I'll start with the Jaguars. I'm a big surprise.
Let's stay in the AFC. I'm going to say this team is so up and down. You have no way of predicting. It's the Chargers. And we've seen the Chargers. Well, I mean, to say about the Steelers, no one should be shocked they make the playoffs. No one should be shocked that they're in the mix at the end of the season. That's all they do. Like, that's literally all they do, is that they find ways to be relevant at the end of the year. So I'm not going to go that way. But let me say the Chargers, because the Chargers charger things up all the time. John Harbaugh is a better coach than what they've had before with Brandon Staley and other coaches before him. Justin Herbert hasn't always stayed healthy. They didn't stay healthy this year. I mean, you think about it. They lost Najee Harris to a ruptured Achilles. Amari and Hampton missed most of the season. They've had both of their starting tackles lost for the year. And when you look at their grading for pass pro and run blocking, how they've won as many games as they did, I have no clue. How they won 11 games is beyond me. But they found their way into being one of the teams in the AFC West that makes the postseason, which no one saw coming, in my opinion.
Are we just talking about teams that are out right now? Surprise teams that are out?
I said surprise teams that are in. So these are teams that I can't say at the beginning of the season, I was like, yeah, the Chargers are definitely going to be a playoff team. That's kind of a surprise.
I think that most people are not going to admit this, but 2024, the New England Patriots went 4-13. And Drake May did enough to be like, oh, okay, he's the guy we're going to build around. And I was really high on the Vrabel thing. I know I said on this show, and I said multiple times, I thought Vrabel was worth a couple of wins. There's less than five coaches in the NFL that the coach makes the difference in, winning versus what your offense and defense are doing. He is a coach that makes a difference. I didn't think that they were going to go 14-3. I mean, that's just a crazy turnaround. So anybody who's not going to say that's a surprise, the Bills, like you said, the Bills just get in second place. The Bills were going to win that division. Was Miami going to come back if Tua could stay healthy? If you'd have said Tua was going to be healthy all year, you'd have said Dolphins are going to be some sort of mix in there with what they had on offense. But the Patriots going from 4-13 to 14-3 with basically, I think they had like almost everybody return. Like they had like the least roster churn of any team in football. I think I remember seeing that during the offseason. They hired Vrabel and kept the same team.
Yeah, I mean, he gutted a lot of the old staff, the old players from the roster, but his guys he kept with him. And people are crapping on the Patriots because of who they played. You can't, in my opinion, in the NFL, you cannot gripe and complain about a schedule. You have no say in who you play. Right. They benefited from a last play. Did they finish last year, or the Jets?
Yeah, no, I think it was
the Jets. The Jets were better than them last year.
I don't know.
Anyways, doesn't matter. They benefited from a third or fourth place schedule, and they did what they're supposed to do against bad teams. This isn't high school where you schedule teams to play, where you're like, oh, homecoming game, we got to get Good Sisters of the Poor to come down and play in our homecoming game so we can win by 20. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. Here's your schedule, play your schedule. They won 14 games. How people are looking at Drake May and saying that he doesn't deserve to be in the discussion for MVP just because of who they
He should be second place.
Yeah, I agree with you, but just because of who they played, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't like that.
This isn't even college football where you get to choose some of your games. I don't know. Go ahead.
Now, I will say, then we get lost in this sometimes because you drive the show, but this is not an AFC show. So getting over to the NFC, there. Listen, there's a lot of people. I'm gonna say this for other people. There's a whole lot of people surprised that the Chicago Bears were in second place in the NFC and won the NFC North. That's
you're not one of them.
The way it happened, it was better than I thought. I mean, I said that they'd split in their division. They actually had a losing record in the division. They went 2-4, so I was wrong on that. But I said they'd be in first or second place by the end of it. And what a fun division. But I mean, got to give the Bears kudos. I mean, being the second in the NFC is just crazy for them.
I said it on the whip around with Coach Kevin Smith. I'll say it here as well. I'll eat crow. I did not see the Seattle Seahawks being what they are.
You were not a Sam Darnold guy.
No. And I wasn't they get rid of Geno Smith. They traded away DK Metcalf. You and I talked about it last offseason. Like, what the hell are they doing? This doesn't make any sense. They knew what they were doing. They put it together. They're starting to lean on the running game with Charbonnet and Walker. Like, they're starting to do things that we thought they were going to do in the past, and it's working, but I didn't believe. So for me, the Seattle Seahawks getting into the playoffs and being the number one seed, never saw that coming.
Again, 14-3. Two quarterbacks in the NFL have had back-to-back 14-win seasons. Tom Brady and Sam Darnold.
You can't take it away from him, but you're right. You're right. I mean, it's just, who wants to go to that place to play a game?
Yeah, you and you have to now. Like, that's the route. So listen, and this is a team that I've been on the Kenneth Walker bandwagon for a couple of years of they've just got to give him the ball more, giving him a couple of weeks break to get more and more healthy. Cause that's kind of been his thing is he healthy? He's going to be healthy now and he's going to look really good whenever he plays somebody. And it's a weird team because I've seen them win a 10-7 game, and I've seen them win a 43-37 game, or what, I'm spitballing, but there's some high scoring and some low scoring. And it's going to be really interesting with them. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing else you can be necessarily too surprised about. Like,
we say the Panthers, like the Panthers is the most glaring. Did we talk about that?
It was the debate was it the Bucks or the Falcons going to win that division? Even then it wasn't that strong of a debate. It was like, yeah, somebody's going to win it. But yeah, the Panthers winning it was not expected.
The Panthers being competitive wasn't expected. Bryce Young looking like somewhat of an NFL quarterback wasn't expected. I mean, they have taken strides. You can't take that away from them.
Well, they didn't have a Mike Tomlin. That's code for winning season. They did go 8-9. But it's I don't know. Somebody's got to win it. Here's the thing, though, and I hate this so much, but the Rams are the 5 seed. They have the NFL MVP in Matthew Stafford, and they're going to go on the road to Carolina, where they've already lost the game this year. They lost the game in Atlanta. The Rams do not travel well to the far East Coast. This year it's been bad for them. I don't think they're going to lose. I'm not going to, but it would suck to lose the Rams to the Panthers.
Yes. I mean, the only game they won on the East Coast was in Baltimore, and that was before they went overseas to play.
It was low scoring.
It was a low scoring game. That's going to be a tough one. We'll talk about that in a second. Now let's flip the script and let's talk about teams that we expected to be in that are not. I think you start with the Chiefs. Am I right?
Chiefs and Lions was supposed to be the Super Bowl, right? Like probably, like pretty good chance. Like if you believe that the Lions were going to be absorbed losing their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, if you thought they kept it together, they had Aiden Hutchinson coming back healthy, they made a few good moves. Like you were probably almost betting chalk if you were Chiefs Lions in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and
I think those two teams. I'm going to give you two teams, and I'm going to say Baltimore not making it is a huge shock. And I'm going to say this, and I know you're going to piggyback on this team, the Commanders being as bad as they were. And I realize when you lose your quarterback, that changes everything. Because the moment Jaden Daniels goes down with the elbow injury, which he actually suffered, was a hamstring before that?
It was something in his leg, yeah.
Okay, so
ankle or hamstring.
Something. But man, the whole team fell apart.
Well, they didn't have McLaurin. They lost Austin Eckler. It just. Yeah.
But their defense sucked, and so
terrible.
It was terrible. So I understand the offense being sluggish and not being able to put up points, but my gosh, like the defense was atrocious. Dan Quinn's a defensive guy. I did not see that train wreck coming. And so I'm going to say I thought they'd be competitive in the NFC East. I thought they'd be vying for a wild card spot. Didn't happen. What do you think about those two teams?
Yeah, I agree on both points. I mean, the Commanders, it's so much due to injury, and like Jaden Daniels has to come back next year. And let's not forget that everybody except for you thinks that he had the greatest rookie quarterback season ever. Roethlisberger's second. Don't worry, I'm not disparaging him.
He's first, but that's okay.
But yeah, I mean, and what about this? Like, I mean, again, we've got another Joe Burrow injury due to their terrible offensive line. But if during the preseason we had looked at the Bengals' defensive numbers, and I'm not trying to say they were great,
right?
But if we had looked at them and said, this is what the defense is going to do, we'd have been like, that's 11 wins, right? I mean, because you just needed his defense to not be bottom 10. You didn't even ask for him to be middle of the pack. Like, just don't be, just be 20th. Give the 20th defense to Joe Burrow. And when he was healthy and playing, he was great with the 20th defense.
Even when Joe Flacco came in, they were still putting up points. They were moving the ball well enough to win. And it makes total sense why they keep their defensive coordinator for another year. And the head coach, they're bringing everyone back. They're like, let's run it back. Are you kidding me? And we'll talk about coaches, but I had to bring that up that when I saw that the Bengals are not just retaining Zach Taylor, but also the defensive coordinator and most of their staff, that doesn't add up. Those two
even Jamar Chase saying that they needed to have a change in leadership. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other teams that you would want to highlight as potentially? I didn't see the Vikings falling off the face of the earth, but they had no quarterback.
I mean,
they
thought JJ McCarthy was such a question mark going in, because he had never played. Still is a question mark. I mean, I think you can kind of get picky with those kind of things. I mean, Packers being 7th, people weren't on that. Like the Jordan Love going to the Super Bowl was also, I mean, it was a fight between the Lions and Packers. I thought pretty clear what people thought was going to be the Super Bowl coming out of there.
All right, so let's talk about some other things that happened this past week. Let's talk about Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett breaks the sack record against Joe Burrow. He kind of pulls a Brett Favre, lays down. That's not what I want to talk about. It's a tremendous feat. He has the record. No one can take that away from him. I'm not here to crap on it for any reason. What did you think, though, about the comments by the Bengals about them stopping the game for the record? I'm curious your take on that.
Make those comments if this is the Steelers-Ravens game where we're fighting for somebody's in, somebody's out. It matters. It's, the Bengals went into this game with the I think the 9th pick, and they left it, or they went into it with the 10th pick, got it with the 9th, something like that. They were drafting 9th or 10th. It affects nothing for them. In general, I agree. I agree in the concept of, hey, if this happens, tell us about it. I mean, and I mean, would it have bothered you in the Steelers Ravens game if TJ Watt had broken the record with 17 sacks in that game and eclipsed Myles Garrett? Like, would you have wanted like them to stop the game, or you're like, hey, this is too important? Like, this is.
I would say it's too important. Let's keep the game going.
I agree. I hate it. I also hate Zach Taylor griping about it.
Jamar Chase, he echoed it too. Jamar Chase is like big. And then this is going to be brought up next year when they play each other again. But I just didn't know what your take was on that for sure.
It's the Cleveland Browns and it's the Bengals and it's the last week of the season. I thought it was funny that they were griping about it. But I would have agreed if anything was on the line. If that's a playoff game, I'm like, what in the hell are y'all doing?
Yeah.
All right, having said this, I come from an organization, and you haven't experienced this, but I come from an organization that had Drew Brees, who broke records all the time, and they always paused the game and let him hug his daughters and celebrated with him. So I'm used to this. I realize that people in the AFC North and their fans, they're not used to.
Well, I mean, come on. When Mike Tomlin wins his 9th game, like, are we supposed to pause the game and say he got another non-losing season? Like, are we supposed to do that now? Are players supposed to put their coach on their back and march him around the field saying, "Yes, 9 wins, 9"? Is that not it? We're not supposed to do that?
He's gonna thump his own chest, so it's okay.
All right, let's talk about the playoffs. We're gonna get you all ready. Let's go through chronological order. I think this is the worst matchup on paper. I'm not shocked. It's Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. Rams at Panthers. We've already alluded to this. The Rams are giving 10 and at 10. It opened at, it says 10. I saw 10 and a half. Yeah.
I thought 9.5.
Okay. The total though currently is 46 and a half. If you want to be aggressive, Carolina on the money line is plus 440. Wesley, you kind of already alluded to maybe this being a lower scoring game. What do you think?
Yeah, so one, I'll say that Carolina 100% deserves to be in this Saturday game that sucks, and they're expected to lose by 10. The should be NFL MVP does not deserve to be playing at 3:30 on Saturday. That sucks. No. And I hope that the Rams put up 40 points to kind of show what they're about, and they kind of get going in the right direction. Yeah, I would probably take the Panthers money line here, just because. Is it going to shock me when the Rams do win by double digits? No, not at all. Not going to shock me at all. But the smart play, looking at what's happened this year, it makes sense to take the points.
Hedge your bet. Take the Rams to cover 10. Put $5 on the money line for the Panthers. Yep. There you go. Yep. You got it. I think the Rams win. I think they cover. I think that Mike or Sean McVay is going to have this team. They're going to look back on the game, and it's going to be good. Yeah.
I wish I could see. I haven't even looked at it. I wish I'd looked at to see what day of the Rams going to travel. Like, are they going to stick to their normal routine because you just don't want to upset people taking them away from their family a day early and all that, which I get. Players hate that. But are you just like, we're not traveling at this time? It just hasn't worked. I don't know.
I haven't looked at that either. That's something
to
check out.
You probably stick with your routine.
I would imagine. And they're going to get some players back. Devontae Adams is supposed to be available.
I think he would have played last week if it was. Yeah.
And that matters. Having someone opposite Puka Nacua really does matter. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go to the 8 p.m. Eastern time game. Amazon Prime. So if you don't have Prime, get yourself a free trial. Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. This is the third meeting between these two NFC North opponents. I was really surprised by the spread. Chicago's spotting just 1.5. Now, Green Bay has not played good football coming into the playoffs. They're beat up. Jordan Love's coming out of the concussion protocol. He's cleared that. He's going to be fine. But they don't have Micah Parsons. The defense hasn't looked the same since. Chicago hasn't been playing great, but I feel like they're playing better. I think this is a Bears win, don't you?
I do. I don't know. Like the Bears, they have lost the last two games. Those to the 49ers and Lions. They've lost those two games by a combined 7 points. I think the Bears are playing fine. I think it was good for them to kind of have those playoff type games the last couple of weeks and be probably humbled a little bit and get going. The Packers are just not good. They just haven't. They've kind of crept their way to this win total, but have not been a good team this year.
And I don't think, Jordan Love misses the last 2 weeks of the regular season. He's going to come in and some will say, well, he'll be rested. Sure. But that can also be rust. Rest can turn into rust really easy. We've seen this happen a lot in the NFL. I just don't think the Packers have it in them. I like the Bears here.
Packers 9-7-1 on the season, 4-game losing streak. Broncos, Bears, Ravens, and Vikings. They're on a 4-game losing streak to those 3 teams.
Yeah. So again, we're talking about teams that are not trending in the right direction heading into the playoffs. Then we go to Sunday. Sunday's games, I think, are really, really good from top to bottom. Let's start off with, because, hey, it's an AFC show, but Saturday's all NFC, which is pretty boring. So let's go to the AFC Saturday. You start off, I think this is the low-key, possibly the most entertaining game of the week, and that is Bills at Jaguars, 1 p.m. Eastern time kickoff, CBS. The 12-5 Bills, the 13-4 Jaguars. We already said that the Jaguars are maybe surprised to be a 13-win team. I think they're way better than people are giving credit for. I don't know about those Bills, man. It just, something doesn't match up. What do you think?
It's the playoffs and it's Josh Allen. So yes. I agree, but I think we've started the playoffs every year with the Bills saying something doesn't add up. We talked about it all year this year. It's like, this is a game that the Bills lose. That we talked about the Dolphins, and then they lost. So it's just kind of the way that they do it. Kind of a strange thing. These 2 teams both being in the AFC, they did not play each other this year. Mm-hmm. A lot of common opponents, but didn't play each other. So that'll be interesting. The Jaguars on an 8-game win streak.
Yeah, no one's talking about that.
It's you're saying low key. Like, I think that if you weren't paying attention and you're kind of one of those casuals that you kind of watch Red Zone and you keep up with you look at this and you're like, oh yeah, Bills are going to kill them.
I wouldn't be so sure.
I think this is going to be a good game.
No one's giving them credit because they play in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's been a dumpster fire since the Blake Bortles and Leonard Fournette and young Jalen Ramsey era. And so I think this team they feel like they're built for this. I don't know if they're going to win the game, but ATN as the running back is being a really good dual threat. I've been shocked by Trevor Lawrence.
Well, Tootin is really good.
He is. But Trevor Lawrence, his ability to run the football is really impressive. And that's what I feel like that's what he's missed. He's been trying to be that pure pocket passer. He's never been that guy. Go back to Clemson. He's never been that guy.
He needed to have, honestly, he needed to have a little more Josh Allen in him. Like when it's time to go, you go. And this is also, listen, Jaguars 3 weeks ago, they went to Denver and beat the Denver Broncos 34-20 in Denver. Like they've traveled on the road. I mean, this is now going to be a home game. I think that's going to be, when's the last time the Jaguars had a home game like this for the playoffs? I think it's going to be a crazy stadium. It'll be a good environment for them. I think it's going to be super competitive. If Josh Allen's the best player in this game, or should be.
So you're taking the Bills, giving a 1.5?
Yeah, I'll take the Bills.
What about the over-under? Totals 51.5.
I'll go over.
Really? I hope so. That means it's exciting.
It's gonna be fun.
I'll take the upset. Give me the home dog.
Yep.
And boy, what an upset that would be if the Jaguars beat the Bills and knock Josh Allen out of the playoffs in the wild card round. Holy crap! It would turn everything on its head. So I root for chaos. Let's do that. Let's go to the next game. Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. 49ers at Eagles. This is a rivalry game. They don't play each other that often, but they've played in big. I'm telling you, 49ers fans hate the Eagles for a lot of reasons. This is a game where Philly's spotting 4.5. Philly rested their players in week 18. San Francisco had a meaningful game, and they completely laid an egg against Seattle. I don't know, man. What's your take?
I don't get the 4.5. Like, I think that's just kind of disrespectful to the 49ers or not paying attention. And they did. They lost a huge game 13-3 against Seahawks that they needed to win. Before that, they're on a 6-game win streak, won 7 of 8. They're one loss being to the Rams. But I don't know. Having said that, I'm saying all that, and out of that 6-game win streak, the only team that mattered was the Bears. The other teams they beat were the Colts, Titans, Browns, Panthers, and Cardinals.
Yeah. Not really a who's who of the NFL.
And the Bears game was a 42-38 game, which was a classic game that I thought the Bears should have won. So I don't know. That's who are the 49ers?
Well, I talk about the eye test a lot. And the 49ers I've had major questions about all year. They're winning, but you're kind of asking yourself, like, what is this recipe for success? I just don't see it. But I'm not seeing it with the Eagles either. We've been saying this, that they look off. Saquon Barkley's, I don't think he's healthy. I think he is, whether it's a groin injury or something, he doesn't look healthy. They're not committing to the run. Jalen Hurts isn't running the ball like he usually does. I don't know. AJ Brown's still pissed off all the time. Devontae Smith. What are the Eagles? I don't know. Their defense is even so up and down. This is going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, I think Saquon Barkley carries the ball a whole lot. I think that's ends up being the difference. I'll go ahead and bring. How about this for offseason? Trade AJ Brown for Brandon Ayuk. Both of them hate where they're at. They hate everything about it.
Why would someone trade for Brandon Ayuk? That guy is a dumpster fire.
I recall a few teams.
That was before he tore up his knee. That was before he tore up his knee. Okay, I know you're always taking those shots at the Steelers. I get it, but still, I wouldn't make that trade. But that's an off-season discussion. Who do you like in this game?
Philly.
Do you?
Saquon Barkley is the best player in the game.
Christian McCaffrey's not bad.
He's not, but I'm gonna stick with. I gave Brock Purdy his flowers and his compliment in his one game against the Bears. I'm not a Brock Purdy fan. I don't think he's gonna elevate the team. I don't like Jalen Hurts though either. I guess if I chose between the two, I'd choose Brock Purdy. But I just think that in Philly, probably weather is going to be a little bit of a condition, windy and cold and stuff like that. If that's there at all, I just think the run game of handing the ball to Saquon Barkley versus trying to throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey. I think the Eagles' defensive line is probably better.
I root for chaos. Give me the 49ers here. I think that they're going to think back to the NFC Championship game a few years back when quarterbacks are dropping like flies and Christian McCaffrey's having to take snaps. So I think the 49ers are capable for sure.
I just want to say I hate both of these organizations.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
completely. I hate both. I've hated both of these organizations for my entire life. Since the 49ers screwed over Joe Montana, I have hated them. I never want good things to happen to them. And I mean, the Eagles just suck.
I'm surprised you're a Montana guy.
He's the best ever.
I mean, I'm not debating that, but you're not a Notre Dame fan. And so you just always like Montana. Hey, that's fine. Sure. All right, let's go to the next game. Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on NBC. The LA Chargers head to Foxborough to play the Patriots. Justin Herbert got last week off. We saw Trey Lance. I don't know what that was. It was not good, though. So Justin Herbert is going to be in the lineup. Drake May and the Patriots did what they had to do in New England last week against Miami. The line is the Patriots giving 3.5 here. What do you think, Wesley?
I don't like Drake May's a young quarterback. Like, this seems like the time for I would take those points really quickly for me. I think the Chargers have been really good about uglying it up the game, about keeping it low scoring, about getting their running backs involved. Herbert running the ball and being unsackable this year has been crazy what he's been able to do. And I think it's going to stay low scoring. It'll be interesting what happens. It's if New England's running backs aren't going to just dominate the game, then I just think this is going to be a lot for Drake May in his first playoff game.
I mean, this is a game to me that comes down to the Patriots defense. I said this earlier when we talked about surprises in the playoffs. The LA Chargers offensive line is completely tattered, and it's been tattered all year. When they lose, Alt goes down, Slater goes down. If they can't get to Justin Herbert, the Chargers are going to win this game. Yep. I strongly believe that. But if they can get to Herbert, then I think it's game over, because they will. The Patriots will run the football. They have good running backs. Drake May using his legs to create, you think he got it bottled up, and he's athletic enough to get some yards on the ground. But I like the Chargers if they can get to Drake May, and that's going to be a huge part of this game. I'll take the Chargers getting 3.5 points. You agree or disagree?
I agree. You're going to give me points. I'm going to take it in this game.
All right. Let's go to the Monday Nighter, which, by the way, we've talked about it a million times. I hate Monday night and Wild Weekend. It's going to leave someone. I'm actually okay with the Steelers being in the spot after playing the Ravens, giving them an extra day. It's a very physical football game. But the Houston Texans go to Pittsburgh. 12-5 Texans, 10-7 Steelers. Houston is giving the Steelers 3 points at home. So why don't you tell me why the Steelers are going to lose, Wesley?
I think Houston's just got the best defense in football, and it's just incredibly choking and dominating. Me and you've talked about for weeks that like that's the team you didn't want to play in the playoffs, not the Steelers. In general, sure. That's a team that defense is going to travel on the road. They're probably going to be better on the road in the bad weather or colder weather, any of that, than they would be in Houston. Like, I think that if you had a chance of beating that defense, it probably was going to Houston to beat them. And just the way a lot of these AFC teams do have outdoor stadiums, like all the home games are outdoor, right?
Let's see here. Steelers, Patriots, Eagles, Jags, Bears, and Panthers. Yes.
Yeah. I just think that's a defense that travels. That is a suffocating, terrible defense. CJ Stroud is playing well enough. Woody Marks somehow is running the ball well. I mean, even though nobody knows who he is. And the Texans receivers are getting work done. But that defense, if you're not getting a turnover against their offense and creating something, like their defense is going to choke you out.
It's going to be tough for sure. And the total is 39.5 for a reason. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say there's Aaron Rodgers is one of the few quarterbacks in the playoffs that I think could do okay against this. I'm not sure if he's got the team around him. So it depends on how quick his receivers can get open. But Aaron Rodgers can get rid of the ball quickly. He is going to read where the blitz is coming from. He's going to know. He's going to mess with his snap counts. He's going to do speed up and slow down the game. I think the mental side of it, he's going to at least keep the Steelers kind of into it. I don't know if like the Steelers have done so well the last few weeks with some of the deep passes. I'm not sure if he's going to have the time to kind of get those off. And I think that he can keep them in the game with shorter passes, but that's not what's made the Steelers really competitive. It's been the long passes where they've had to break open games. So I think Aaron Rodgers can make it competitive. I'm just not sure of the big deep shot that's been there the last few weeks that's propelled them. I just don't know if the Texans are going to screw up like that.
I mean, the Steelers are going to have to be creative offensively. Like they're going to have to try and counter the aggressiveness of that Houston defense, with the screen game, getting the ball in their best playmakers' hands. That's Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, letting them try and get in space to make. That's how they're going to have to live. Can they make a man miss? And the defensive backs for Houston are pretty freaking good in terms of tackling and their overall ability. DK Metcalf comes back. That is a huge wrinkle in this game. I think that you're going to see a lot of back shoulder stuff early to try and, we got to get the ball quick, but we need DK to try and use his big body to create some splash. They have to do something to get the Texans to back off a little bit. And that's going to be the ultimate challenge here. I don't know though. Houston's giving 3. The money line is Pittsburgh 150 plus 150. I got to take the Steelers getting points at home. You kidding me? I think it is going to be close no matter what. So the Steelers are getting 3. I like the Steelers getting the points.
Yeah, classic just betting. If you're a home team in the playoffs getting points, you definitely take it for sure. I would take Houston in this. I think that and it was not against the Steelers. I just think this Houston defense was going to be a bad matchup for anybody in the first round. I thought we'll see what happens if they make it to the second round and how that looks. But first round, nobody was going to want to welcome them.
No, something is going to break. Some streaks are going to fall on Monday night. The Steelers haven't lost a Monday night home game since like 1992. The Houston Texans have never won a road playoff game. That's in case you didn't know, the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. So something's going to snap. I don't know what it is, but something will snap on Monday.
Well, and I was going to say, I would have taken the Texans on the road against anybody out of the AFC and that's playing this week, except for the Bills. Probably that would have been a close one, but I would have taken them against the Jags or even the Patriots. I think this defense is tough. All
right, Steelers are going to win. All right, let's finish this up quickly with coaches being fired, coaches that are staying. So far, we've seen Gannon and the Cardinals go. The Raiders are looking for a new coach after Pete Carroll gets fired.
Well, starting back, Callahan was your first coach fired by the Titans, then Dayball by the Giants.
Yes. Raheem Morris is out in Atlanta.
Morris from the Falcons, let go. Stefanski.
That's right.
Bulletproof Stefanski.
I saw that coming a mile away. Yeah. So, were there any surprises in those firings?
I don't say I'm surprised by the Morris firing. After them winning 4 games to end the season, it's a little bit surprising. I'm disappointed because I really wanted him to stay in the division. I don't think he's great, but I thought that winning 4 games to end, that's such a weird thing. They had to fire Terry Fontenot, the general manager, he's from New Orleans, and I love him. And I hope the Saints hire him back. But signing Kirk Cousins and drafting Michael Penix, and neither one of them working out the way it's gone the last few years, whether it was because of Cousins injuries and Penix just not being good, doing that in the same offseason and spending that money and doing it, you got 4 years, you weren't going to make it, or 3 years, whatever.
Well, last week I set the line of coaches fired at 3.5.
Yep.
I believe you said under, and I took the over at 4, and there's been 4 more coaches fired, correct?
4. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And there might be more. Todd Bowles might be out in Tampa Bay. They haven't made that decision yet.
That one again would surprise me. I think it should be fired, but again, I hope he stays too.
I don't think anyone else, unless John Harbaugh and the Ravens part ways. I don't see any other coaches getting fired. They said that Steichen is safe in Indianapolis, so I can't see anyone else going. Could you?
Yeah, I mean the Harbaugh stuff is like, if the Ravens had won that game, we'd be talking about, will Mike Tomlin be fired? And like, he's not going to be fired either.
They would be, but no, he wouldn't be. But they would be talking about it.
They'd be talking about it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You think any of these coaches that were fired have another head coaching job in 2026?
Bulletproof Stefanski does if he wants it.
I think so too.
They already said they're looking at him in New York with the Giants. Jackson Dart, Tennessee's been interested as well.
Raheem Morris is getting an interview in Tennessee as well.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're eyeing Arthur Smith for some unknown reason, but he has ties to the organization. So yeah, I think a lot of these coaches might find, well, not all of them. I don't think Gannon gets a gig. He's been an absolute train wreck in Arizona.
Carroll's not going to be a head coach this next year.
No, I think he's done. Stefanski, I think, is the one that I would definitely say that's the guy that if he wants a job, he might say, like, I don't like these opportunities, I'm going to wait. But if he wants a gig, I think he has one waiting for him.
Yep. I mean, it was just 2023 that he led the Browns to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that long ago. So.
No. And he's done it with some really crappy quarterbacks at his disposal.
That wasn't his choice. He's had 13 starters in the past since he was there as a coach, but 7 starting quarterbacks in the last 2 seasons.
Jeez. and they're keeping the GM. That's what I find absolutely hysterical.
What I can't. And that was where Morris was like, okay, he might get fired because they have to fire the GM. But Stefanski getting fired and them not firing the GM is crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. We've got
any coaches that should have been fired for you?
Should have been. Well, Bowles is the question mark, and again, by the time people are hearing this or seeing it, he might have been fired. Bowles is definitely one. Other than that, I can't think of any. If I'm being honest, I don't know who else would go.
McDaniel.
Yeah, that's one.
They're being weird about McDaniel. About he's part of the hiring process for the GM, but he's saying like, well, until I'm let go, I'll be the coach. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is very strange. I don't know what they're waiting on. Like,
I think it would have been a mistake, but I could have seen Aaron Glenn getting fired.
How about the Jets not having an interception?
The first team ever.
The first team ever since interceptions were created as a statistic in 1933. No team has ever not, and they had Sauce Gardner for half the year. That's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible. So, all right, man, we've gone a little bit long. I appreciate your time. Why don't you let us know what's coming up on the Dome Patrol podcast and social media? Well, we have our quarterback. We're going to talk about that a lot. We've got to get weapons around him. I think that everybody is mocking Jeremiah Love to the Saints, and if Kellen Moore, he was an offensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl, and if that's his Saquon Barkley, then so be it. But
talking about everybody's, the Tyler Shuck hype is just insane. I do some trading cards, and his trading card market's just, I've never seen anything like it on somebody
Wow.
that what happened in the last 3 weeks is crazy. But we'll be talking about that. We'll be doing lots of mock drafts. Still be talking about the rest of the NFL as games come up and all. But you can find me on X at Wesley13. You can find us on the Dome Patrol podcast at Dome Patrol PCast on X, or find us on any of your streaming platforms. Where can we find you in your one more week of Steelers game coverage?
We got more than one. I'm telling you, they're going to win this football game.
I believe in you.
You can find us at the Steel Curtain Network, wherever you get your podcast, or steelcurtainnetwork.com. Find me at Hartman, HARTMAN_PIT on X. We talking all things Steelers leading up to kickoff. But Wesley, man, we'll be talking next week. Take it easy.
See ya.